Welcome back to another exciting video, and what we're doing today is we are demystifying and easily explaining the Dorian mode. Okay, so before I get started, I've got to say this because apparently I really suck at saying these things on my videos. So I need to say this and get it out of the way because I will forget later. Please subscribe to the channel. Please click the bell. And this is a good video that you're going to want to share because like I said, we're going to demystify the Dorian mode and we're going to explain this. We're going to explain it to where everybody can understand it, but you have to wrap your brain around it. And before we get started on that, do not forget the Trace Taylor Great Guitar giveaway. We've got to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I truly want to give this guitar away. So tell everybody you know to subscribe to the channel. And this is a good video to share to people who have not subscribed yet. Because like I said, we're going to explain this, and I'm going to get into that here in a second. And then also, on the subscription, some of that is my fault because I gotta admit, I just hate social media. I mean, I hate every freaking avenue of social media. So I'm building a new Facebook and I will be putting that up so I can actually start putting stuff on my Facebook page so we can start getting subscribers so we can get this guitar given away. We can give it away. Somebody can have it. Somebody can have it. I really want to hit the 50,000 subscribers. I really want to give this guitar to somebody. You would think, as bad as I want to give this guitar away, that something is wrong with it. But that is absolutely not the case. The guitar is flawless, guaranteed. Guaranteed flawless. But I just really want to do this. I think this is a cool thing. And, you know, hopefully, like I said, some lucky dude who can't afford a $1,500 guitar will win this guitar. I really hope somebody doesn't win this guitar that has like 18 guitars already. I mean, hopefully somebody wins it that really needs a damn good guitar, and it's a damn good guitar. So those are the goals, those are the hopes, those are the dreams and the aspirations. And but I hate social media because everybody keeps telling me to do TikTok, and I got to tell you, at one point in your life, you just got to be a man and say, no, not doing it. I honestly don't know if I can cross that threshold into TikTok. I just don't know if I can do that or not. Everybody keeps telling me to do it. I'll burn that bridge another day. But I am getting my Instagram started up finally. And hopefully that'll help grow so we can get subscribers to give this guitar away. We're going to finally demystify the modes. This was not something I wanted to get into yet. I had a couple of other videos I wanted to get on theory before I got to this. But lo and behold, I'm laying in bed as I often do when I go to sleep. And before I go to sleep, I've got to unwind. I got to get things going. So I will normally go onto YouTube and I'll surf, see what's going on, who's doing what, so on, so on, so on. And lo and behold, I came across another video talking about the modes. And I've mentioned this in one of my previous videos. And boy, did it just piss me off again. So what do I mean by that? Well, I saw a video a long time ago, and this guy's like, hey, man, if you want to learn the modes, it's easy. If you go to piano and you play the Ionian mode, play from C to C, no sharps, no flats. If you want to play the Dorian mode, all you got to do is play from D to D. And if you want to play the Phrygian mode, all you got to do is play from E to E. And that sucked. There. Okay, that's great. That's fantastic. But what if I want to play C Dorian? Guess what? You gave me no information whatsoever. Somebody recorded this video, and now I'm going to bitch again for a minute about stupid videos. Somebody recorded this video, and then somebody saw it and said, oh my God, that's so easy. I can do that. Then they recorded the video. Then 2 people saw it and recorded it. Then 4 people saw it and recorded it. then 8 people, then 16, then 32, 64, 128, so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. So now we got all these videos running around YouTube's with all these people saying, hey, if you want to play the Ionian mode, just go to your piano and get on the white keys and just play from C to C. And if you want to play the Dorian mode, hey, just get back on there and just go from D to D in the C major scale. And if you want to play the Phrygian mode, hey, just go from E to E in the C major scale. And you know the modes. You don't know shit. You know nothing. So here I am to explain this once and for all. Make it easy for the common man to understand. Because those videos irritate the shit out of me. And I'm not here to rag on other people in their videos. I would never call anybody out by name or anything like this. Even though the one guy I watched last night, his video sucked pretty bad. But I would never say anything directly to him about it because this is a lot of work and this is hard. But after watching that video, I finally decided, damn it, we're skipping ahead and we're just going to get into the modes right now because I'm going to break this down and I'm going to explain this once and for all for everybody to understand. So here we go. Very long way to get from A to D, wasn't it? So you know the C major scale. If you're watching this video, I'm going to assume you understand the major scale. So we don't have to cover this and break all this down again. And why is this the major scale? We don't have to do that again. So you know the major scale, which is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step. That is correct. This right here is a set of instructions on how to play a major scale. And they're denoted, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then when we get back to C, which actually this C is in the wrong place. If we move this C, because the C would actually be sitting over here under 8. But if we play this on a piano and we follow this scale, this means there's no sharps and no flats on the piano. And that is the Ionian mode. All right. Now, to expand upon all the other videos that are just saying, hey, if you don't play Dorian, do this, or you don't play Phrygian, do this, you don't play Locrian, do this. So, expanding on that, if we stay in the C major scale, now this is where you have to follow me, because this can get confusing if you do not wrap your brain around this. If we stay in the C major scale, okay, we're wanting to play C Dorian. Whatever Dorian scale you're wanting to play, if you want to play G Dorian, A Dorian, I don't care. Go to that scale. So in this case, we want to play C Dorian. So since we want to play C Dorian, we're going to go to the C major scale. And if you play C major, no black keys. Okay, so now we're going to play from D to D. We're going to play the second mode of C major, which is the Dorian mode of C major. So it goes from D to D, no sharps, no flats. Stay with me. All right, so if we take a piano, and if you don't have a piano, just download a piano register and it'll work the same. I'm doing it this way to explain it. So if you look here and we play from C to C, you can see this pattern behind me from right here, from what I'm playing, because from here to here is a whole note. From here to here is a whole note. From here to here is a half note. No black key in between it. Half note. Okay, keep this in mind. So if we play this, we have whole note, half note, whole note, whole note, whole note, half note. Back to C. So if we stay in the key of C major, because we want to play C Dorian in any key you want. If you wanted to play A Dorian, we would be doing this in the key of A major. It all works the same. Because all we're doing is following the instructions. So since we want to play C Dorian, all right, if we go to the C major scale, and then now we go from D to D, if you look, our pattern has now changed. Well, what do you mean? If you look here, See these two black keys right here? Okay, that's what gives us our whole step, because we have the two semitones here. Two semitones. Half step. One semitone apart. All right, so if we go to D, our pattern has now changed, because we can no longer play this, because if we play this from D to D, now we're playing the D major scale. That's not what we want. We're looking for C Dorian, and we're going to get the pattern from playing D Dorian in the C major scale. This is where it gets confusing, but I promise you, stay with me, wrap your head around this. So in the key of C, if we followed this again, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, that gives us that. But if we do the same exact thing, just staying on the white keys, no black keys, and we do the same exact thing, but from D to D, our pattern is going to change. Because now, and watch the piano, we have a whole step, two semitones, we have a whole step. So let's go ahead and write in a whole step here. Okay, because remember, we're going from D to D. Our next one is a half step. We have no black key, one semitone apart. So this one has to be a half step. The next one is a whole step, because remember, no black keys. Just follow the pattern of the white keys up. A whole step. A whole step. A whole step. A half step. A whole step. And if you notice, we have the same degrees. On the major scale, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On the major scale. Same degree here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this gives us our new set of instructions. So now, remember, we want to play C Dorian. So we went to the C major scale. We derived our C major scale. We went from D to D. Remember, because C major has no sharps, no flats. We went from D to D and derived our new pattern just by counting from D to D. And this gives us our new set of instructions. So now we take this new set of instructions, we go back to C, our C major scale. But now we're plugging this in. So instead of going a whole step, half step for C major, now starting on C and going to C, now it's whole step, half step, whole step. So we have a whole step, half step. So this is 1, 2, 3. Because we have a half step, whole step, half step. This gives us a flatted third. So we know our third now is flat. And if we continue to follow the pattern, whole step, half step, now we know we have a flatted seventh also. So our seventh is flat. Then of course we have this last whole step here, which gets us back to C. So now the C major scale, watch the piano, is this. C Dorian, not the Dorian of C, C Dorian is this. So what this does is this changes our entire chords from our new pattern that we derived from playing from D to D in the C major scale. And that's the only part it gets confusing, is just understanding that whatever Dorian mode you want to play in, if you want to play in G Dorian, go to the G major scale, start at A and go to A and play the same exact scale with that F sharp. Oh. And when you break it down, the whole scale, whole step, half step, whole step, when you break it down from A to A, and you do your new pattern, you end up with this pattern. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step. You end up with the new pattern. Well, in the key of G, well, before we get to that, let's stay with C for a minute. So the C major, Dorian, the C Dorian mode, not the Dorian scale of C major. The Dorian scale of C major is playing from D to D, no sharps, no flats. But we want to play C Dorian. So the C Dorian mode has a flatted third and a flatted seventh, as all Dorian modes do have that. So all you do now, if you're playing squeaky chair, if you're playing in the key of C, C is your tonal center for playing in the key of C. C is our tonal center. We keep going back to C. All right, so in C Dorian though, C minor is now your one chord. So in C major, the one chord, which is C, I'm going to have to get up on this one. In C major, the one chord in C is that. It's a Roman numeral 1. In C minor, in C Dorian, it is that. Because that denotes minor. So, why am I telling you this? Check this out. So we're going to give, like I said, thorough understanding of Dorian and doing it in C. So, knowing what I just told you, and I know this is cutting my head off, but there's nothing I can do about that, because that is a big no-no in the film world, is cutting off heads. Because now I'm just a floating body. Just a floating body. So, in the key of C, your chords are C, D minor, little m, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and then we're back to C. These are the chords of C major, and this would be denoted like this. And of course, your 5 chord, 6 chord, and of course, your 7 chord, your diminished chord. All right, so those are the chords of C major. So you have C, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, back to C major. But now, because we changed our pattern, because remember, the pattern to the Dorian mode is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. So, since our modes changed, it's also changed our chords. All right, so in Dorian, our chords are now C minor, because you got to remember, in Dorian, in our new mode, we have a flatted third and a flatted 7th. And this is C major up here. This top is C major. So we have C minor, D minor, E flat major, F major, G minor. And here we have an A diminished. B major. So the new chords on this are C minor, D minor, E major, F major, G minor, A diminished, then of course B flat major, B flat major. So these are our new chords in G Dorian. So, and now this is going to be written like this. And this is the pattern of that. All right, so we know that we have, I put them up here, but let's get those off so it's not confusing. So it's not confusing onto what is going on. And I just put those up there just to show you that we had a minor third, a flatted third and a flatted seventh. So here's now, I gotta fix this chair. Our new, again. Oh, I'm sorry. And those are the new chords for C Dorian. And now, if you think about this, like I said, C Dorian, the Dorian mode has two flats. Well, in C Dorian, we have a flatted third, E flat, and a flatted B flat. So we have an E flat and a B flat. All right. Sorry about all the walking back and forth, but this had to happen. So what other key has a B flat and an E flat? The key of B flat. B flat has an E flat, B flat, and an E flat. So you could play in the key of B flat and just make C your tonal center, because B flat has these two flats. C Dorian has these two flats. So you could break it down like this, like I did, which is the correct way and the way to learn it. But just in case you're like, piss on that, it's too much work, I'm not going to do it. If you wanted to play in C Dorian, play in the key of B flat, squeaky chair, play in the key of B flat and make C minor your tonal center now. Just make C minor your tonal center. So now our scale is this. And it works that way for every single scale you do. So remember we were talking about G. Let's get rid of all this. I want to make sure you guys understand this because it's not hard once you wrap your brain around it. So if we're going to play G major, I've got to get this chair fixed. If we're going to play G major, we start and we play the major scale of G. But we want to play G Dorian. So we do our major scale of G. And now we play the Dorian mode of G, which is A. We play from A to A. Just remember, we have this F sharp. But we play the same notes that are in G major. We just do it from A to A. And if you notice again, our pattern changes. And guess what our pattern is? Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step. The Dorian mode. If you count out G major, stay with me. If you count out G major, you're going to come up with the major scale of whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Watch. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step. That's what gives us the F sharp, half step. So if you do it from A to A in the G major, it repeats the same exact scale that we had for the Dorian. I mean, yeah, well, the same scale, but the same instructions. So from A to A, you have whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step. So when you apply that formula, and again, remember, and like I said, I'm trying to drive this into your all's head. If we do G, and we're doing the G major scale, if we do the G major scale, we have whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, if we count it from A to A, playing all the same notes that are in the G major scale, you cannot change the notes. Now you have this whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So then, after you take the A pattern from the G major scale, because remember we're looking for G Dorian, you come back up with the same exact formula like we did in C. Now you just apply that to the G major scale. So if we go to the G major scale, we go back to G now, forget the major scale. We're going back to G because we took G major, played from A to A to derive our new pattern for Dorian. Now we're going to put it back into the G scale. So we have whole step, half step. So we know we got this B flat right here. Whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step. So the new pattern, for the new scale for G is now G Dorian. Check this out. If we play G major, F sharp, if we play G Dorian, because remember, we got the flatted seventh. We have a flatted third and a flatted seventh. A flatted third, so in G, we have a B flat. But since we have a flatted seventh, our seventh is the F sharp, it becomes F because we have to flatten the seventh. So we still have our two flats, but only the B is an actual flat as far as a black key because we got to flatten the F sharp to F. So our new scale now is. So now that becomes our G Dorian scale. So let's just say, dude, for whatever reason, I can't wrap my brain around that. It's just too hard, which actually it's not once you think about it. And if you sit at a piano, I promise you'll figure it out. And we'll probably go over this a million more times. But if you take the major scale, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, and you want to derive the Dorian mode, take this W and stick it right there and start from right here. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step. Dorian. And you're probably thinking, damn dude, that was a lot of shit to get to that. Why didn't you just do that to begin with and be done with it? because I need you to understand what makes this like this. And that's where I was having the issue with those other videos. They weren't explaining, why is this like this? What makes this like this? Now you know, and I'm going to recap this again. If you want to play in the C Dorian mode, go to the C major scale. Go to the second degree, which is Dorian, and play from D to D of the C major scale. No sharps, no flats. Derive your new pattern from that, which is now, like I said, following your semitones. And that gives us our new pattern, which is this. Again, from D to D, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step. Now, all we do is take this pattern and go back to C major, but forget the C major scale. We're just going to play from C to C, but we're playing the new pattern now. And that gives us C Dorian. That is how you find C Dorian, G Dorian, A Dorian, whatever Dorian scale you want to find. Go whatever scale you want. Like I said, A Dorian, go to A major, play the scale, then start at B. Play the same exact notes that are in A major, just go from B to B. That will give you, every time you do this, it doesn't matter what key you start in, it's always going to give you this new set of instructions. Then you go back to the original key, in this case it would have been A, and we play this set of instructions. And it gives you a flatted third and a flatted seventh. And that gives you the Dorian mode explained, demystified. A third grader could understand it. There's no other videos that ever need to be made on the Dorian mode. Damn it, I just covered it all. You understand it, and we now have the Dorian mode. Everybody knows what the Dorian mode is now. So now all you do is you play the new chords in the Dorian mode in the key of C. We have an E flat and a B flat. So all we gotta do is make our tonal center. We start on our one chord, which in this case is a C minor. Oh yeah, baby. See, throw a little accidental in there. Did you like that? Jumping back to that C, giving us a little tension there. And then back to our C minor. Ah, beautiful stuff. Music is an amazing language once you start to understand it. The hard part is the actual understanding part of it. So, we just did Dorian mode. That's all we're doing in this video because this is a very, 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 very long video. I just wanted to break it down just on Dorian mode. And remember, if you're, just another quick thing to think about is C Dorian has these two flats in it, B and E flat. If you also play in B flat, check it out. Bada bing, bada boom. B flat scale. Right there. See right there? You got a B flat right there and an E flat right there. Guess what? Same thing our C Dorian mode has. So you could simply remember that if I wanted to play C Dorian, I just have to play the B flat major scale and just start on C, which in this case would be a C minor. Because B flat would be here, and you would make B flat your total center. this case, you would use the same exact thing. You would just start at C minor. So, like I said, that breaks down to Dorian scale. The Dorian scale of C, the C Dorian scale is the same thing, has the same flats in it that B flat major has in it. And you can play B flat major, just make C minor your tonal center. That's where you want everything to come back and resolve back to that C minor. You could do that and memorize it, or you could actually do the work and understand it. This isn't about memorization. This is about understanding it. I broke that down. If you got to watch this video 7 times, watch it 7 times. I promise you, once you wrap your brain around it, you're going to be like, oh my God, I completely get it now. And guess what? It works like that for every single mode. For every mode, all we're doing is changing the pattern. And like I said, what a lot of people aren't doing is explaining, how do we get this pattern? If I want to play B flat Dorian, what the hell do I do? Well, guess what? Coming up in another video, because we're going to do every single freaking mode to make sure that everybody understands this. And if you're not grasping it right now, and like I said, it's not the easiest thing in the world to understand, because we'll go to C major, play the major scale, get the major pattern, then go to the Dorian of C major, play the Dorian scale, get the Dorian pattern, then back it up and go back to the C major scale and play the Dorian pattern. It's a little confusing. It takes a minute to wrap your head around it. But I promise you, by the time we're done, if you don't already understand it, which you should, because it was pretty freaking thorough, I promise you, by the time we get through the 7 modes, you will know this inside, outside, upside down. You will understand every single mode and how to derive every single mode. So I'm wrapping that up right there. I'm not talking about the Dorian mode anymore. We're moving on past this. So, previews of what's to come. Getting ready to start my where the subscribers can call in to me. I'm going to start putting up, when I get my Facebook up, my new one, you can contact me via that new Facebook and say, yeah, dude, I want to do it. I want to be on the channel. And I'll pick a day like Wednesdays. And I'll pick a time for wherever anybody's at. And if you want to call in and you want to talk music, whatever it is you want to talk about, that is what we will talk about on the channel. It'll be very, very cool. Also coming up, this is actually what I was supposed to be doing tonight, but I got so pissed off from that last guy's video, is we are going to learn to play this. To that part, we're going to do the whole song, of course, but that's going to be the first part. It's going to be seriously cool. We're going to learn how to play Moonlight Sonata. And this is an intermediate piece. This is not something you just sit down and start playing. But I'm going to try to break this down and explain it for a beginner to play Moonlight Sonata. It is going to be a bit of work. It will span over a few videos. And that's not the only cool part, though. Because all you guitar dudes are being great, dude. It's not a guitar video. I don't care. I don't care. That's where you're wrong. We're going to play this on piano first. Then we're going to go back and we're going to learn it on guitar. And this is going to be the fun part, because I do not know how to play this on guitar. I am going to sit here and learn how to play this on guitar so we can all do this big Moonlight Sonata thing. It's going to be seriously cool. I'm super excited to get started on that. And like I said, a lot of things coming up, and I know I keep saying that, but it's just getting to them. Getting to them is very hard, because this takes a tremendous amount of time to do these channels. So there again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. My Patreon, I'm finally starting to get it sorted out. So because I haven't done shit on that Patreon account. So I'm going to start posting it up, and subscribe to the Patreon, because that helps keep this channel going for all the things that we're doing and all the cool stuff that you guys are learning. And So it's going to be awesome. And when I get the new Facebook, I'll start posting the new Facebook up there. I will get the Instagram posted up there. And then, by the way, I've got some really cool things coming up on my film channel. So from time to time, I will be dropping links. If you haven't subscribed to my film channel, I highly recommend you do, because it's going to be super, super cool also. And it's not the podcast. Yes, a lot of things going on. A lot of irons in the fire, bro. Got things happening everywhere. But I got some really cool things coming up on my film channel. And regardless of that, I will be posting links on things that I think you guys might be interested in from my film channel. I will be posting those links to my YouTube channel also, from my music channel. So, and last thing, not just a guitar channel. So all you guitar dudes, we're doing all this piano work. Hang in there. Do not bail on me. Because like I said, we got Moonlight Sonata coming up on guitar after we get through the Moonlight Sonata on piano. I just want to do both parts, because I want the most complete music channel I can make to help as many people understand and fall in love with music as I possibly can. Because like I said, once you learn the language, music is absolutely beautiful and it will change your life. Guaranteed. So until the next time, like the great Sammy Hagar says, if you miss the beat, you lose the rhythm and nothing falls into place. And that is advice for everything in your life. So work on the mode. If you do not understand the Dorian scale, if there's something you think I missed, please leave me a comment and let me know. And I bet you I will cover it in the very subsequent video. I guarantee it. Leave me comments, ask me questions. I love to answer questions. And until the next time, whatever you do, practice that instrument. Learn the theory, piano, guitar, I don't care. Practice, practice, practice. And until then, my friends, rock on.